Hello and welcome to another Friday demo. This time I'm streaming via Zoom. So there was a little bit of a pause at the beginning because I was trying to figure out, is it working? Have I set it up? So I'm hoping that it's all working okay. I'm just going to check on my phone to see if I can see that it's working, because the joy of tech and trying something new, it's always a little bit concerning. So I can't see it on my phone as yet. There we go. I can. I'm there. So I'm going to share my screen because I'm going to talk you through a fun thing all about mockups. It's quite a new feature. So I have got a document set up so I can show you that. So here we go. So here's something I created earlier. So this is a website design that I created, the sort of homepage, and showed what it would look like on a mobile. And I wanted to show what it would look like kind of in situ. And again, I just want to make sure that it's screen sharing okay into live, into Facebook. So bear with. Again, the new joys of technology. See if I can see if there's any, I can see someone's watching. Hello. Okay, I can see it screen sharing, so I can now ignore myself on my phone and crack on. Yay. Okay. So here you can see it's magically embedded within there, and I haven't spent hours on Photoshop showing, like getting it to fit and making it all look like it's embedded within the design. I've used Canva's new Mockups tool. So I've gone from this to this, and there's lots of options. So I will show you how to do it. So let's start with that. I'm going to copy this page so we can sort of see. So what you do is you need to have a flat image that you've uploaded. So this is something that I've uploaded already into my upload section. You need to click on it, and then you click on the effects tool. So if you have pro version, you'd be already familiar with the effects tool because you've got the background remover. But this smart mockups feature, as far as I can tell, is for both free and pro. So you should be able to access it regardless of what your tools are. So yeah, so you've got a choice of here. So like I said, you go to effects. So let's just go through it again. So you go click on the image that you want to pop into your mockup. You click on effects, and then you go to where it says smart mockups, and you want to click see all because it gives you a bit more options. So there's some popular ones here. You've got things like smartphones, which is one of the ones that I used for the mobile friendly version. And then you've got a few versions of kind of laptops and computers and things like that. So I could click on any of these. So if I click on this one, for example, you can pop your design and it will do an immediate sort of preview of it. And on this one, it says there are some options here. So because it's got this sort of these slidey tools, so it's you can customize it. So let's have a little look. So you can decide how it sort of crops within the kind of laptop. So it's got fill, or you can do a custom. And so with the custom, you can kind of change the size and move it about if you wanted to. Or you can just have it as fill, and it will just fill that bit. And then you click apply. Don't worry too much if you forget to click apply, because it does, like if you click off it, it then does just apply it, but it does sometimes do some weird things. So just make sure, it is just better practice to click apply. So I can show you the same thing again by using the kind of mobile preview. So again, you click effects, go to smart mockups. And then if we look at the smartphones, it did take me a little bit of time to work out which the cropping of my sort of visual of the mobile view, because of some phones are going to be sort of slightly different ratios. So let's just click on one of these. So I'll click on that one. So again, if I wanted to adjust it, I could play around with that. But if I just click apply, it's done a pretty good job. So this means that I could now put that into a post if I wanted to. In terms of how I use it here, it just helps bring the visual of this website to life. So it makes it look more real. It helps you to sort of, I don't know, just by putting it in there, it's just like, oh, it's an actual thing. So you could do that if you want to sort of make, bring your website or a landing page or something, and it's you using it as part of promoting a sort of a particular website or feature or something that you want to put on there. So there's all sorts. At bare minimum, you could pop your logo there if you wanted to have it as part of your shop. Once you have clicked OK and apply, you then you can't really undo it apart from using the undo tool until you come back to it being. But you can see this is where it kind of goes a bit weird. Because it's just gone a bit funny. So what I would recommend is that you duplicate the page. So keep your original image that you're using, and then they go to, then you can try out different options. So if I click redo, then at least I've got that there. So it means that you can try out different things. So on this page here, this is that I played around with this book cover that I created for Vivian Joy. And I was like, got very excited about the book tool. There are a bit of a downside in the sense that it's only got hardcover visuals. And I know, this book is actually a paperback. So it's not, and it has cropped some bits off. So if I make a copy of that sort of the raw image, as it were, let's see what we can do with the mock-ups and see if I can adjust it, if there is the custom option. I didn't remember seeing that on the books, but maybe I was just getting a bit too excited by the feature. So you can see here there's a few, there's not as many, some things you've got more than others. So you've got a few books here. So if I click on book 2, and if I zoom in a bit more so we can see what we're looking at a bit more. So you can see here it's cropped it, the top and the bottom. Let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. So it has actually cropped out the top and bottom, so that's not really ideal. And actually looking at this closer, this one is a paperback version, so I was wrong when I said there was only a hardback, but the ones that I was playing with earlier seem to be. So let's have a look and see if we can play with the crop to see if that helps it. So let's look at custom and maybe sort of see what happens with the size. So there's not a whole lot we can do with this, to be honest, because by resizing it, yes, we can bring those bits in, but it does kind of put that white edge there. So sort of we can move it over, so at least it's got a large white bit on the spine, as it were. But this is where the proportions of the original book of my cover is different to the proportions of the book, and because it's so exact, it's not really working so well. So there's going to be times when there are limitations. Now let's have a little look at, let's pop that over onto there, out the way for the moment. So let's have a little look at, like, what if you wanted to mock up your logo onto a t-shirt. So if I go to uploads and get my logo, let's get my lovely logo. So I'll grab that. Now, hopefully you can see this, that this file was uploaded as a PNG file with transparencies. So you can see that the color of the background shows through. And so this is something to consider with the, the files that you use for your mock-ups. So if you're using a logo and it's got a white background, that may impact the outcome of what you have. So let's have a look and see what happens if we use this. So let's make a copy of that. So we've got the kind of the original to hand, so we can have a little play. So back to effects and smart mockups. And let's have a look at some t-shirts. So let's say I want to have some branded workwear, or look at what that might look like if I was going to have a t-shirt made. So let's click on this one and let's make it a bit bigger. We'll zoom in a little bit more as well. So you can see here that you can't see the whole logo, it's just sort of plopped it on. And so if I wanted that as a design look, I suppose I could, but if I want it to be sort of smaller or play around with it, I can do. So if I click on this, there's a number of things that, particularly with the workwear or t-shirts and stuff, there is a bit more customization that you can do. So let's start with the placement of it. So we'll do the size. So we'll make that smaller so that we can see the whole logo. And say I want it more on the chest area. So let's have a look. We need to sort of move it up vertically. If I had it really small, so it was more of an emblem there, I could also decide to have it sort of more on the left or the right. So I could pop it there and maybe have it a little bit higher up. So if I zoom in a bit more, you can see that it's looking, it's popped there. So you've got quite a lot that you can choose, but you want to make sure that you don't click apply until you're happy with how it is. Otherwise you do have to start the process again. Now, where it gets quite interesting is some things you can change the object color. So in this case, it's the t-shirt. So it's currently set to white. So if I wanted to, I could have a black t-shirt. I could, if I knew a hex code, I could have like a more of a navy. So I do have a navy in my color palette. So say, for example, that was the hex code, then I know it's on brand. Again, there's a sort of element of, you can tell that the colors changed going from something that's so, different. I can see it, but in the context of, if that was in a post, it would look really convincing, and it's just quick and easy. So if you're wanting to show what your logo or a design might look like in different options for t-shirts and things like that, that works really quite well. So let's say I'm going to go for that. I quite like it. And what if I want to do a whole load of merch? So let's go back to Smart Mockups and have a little look through. So in terms of what's here, so we've covered smartphones. So if you wanted to have a mobile, excuse me, computers, so that covers laptops and computers. Cards, so this is sort of like business cards, things like that. So let's see what happens if, and greeting cards, there's a few of those as well. So that's quite useful at times. Greeting cards, business cards. You've got frames and posters. So if you wanted to make your logo or a design look like it's on a poster put up on the wall or something. We've covered books, clothing. There's a whole range of sort of like hoodies, t-shirts. There's sort of men, women. There's sort of just the blank t-shirt without a person wearing it. And we've got some mugs here as well. So I'm going to apply mine to a mug. So I'm going to choose mug 5 because I feel like it. Let's make it a bit bigger so that we can see it a bit more. So again, I might choose to play with the sizing of it. So let's do custom. So as a default, it tends to have it as fit, which makes sense. And sometimes it will work. I could decide to be like, oh, I quite like it like that. So if I make it a bit smaller, to a point that I'm happy with it, and I quite like it centered like that. I don't think that the horizontal or vertical positioning needs changing, but I might want to play with the color, so I might want to make it red, for example, black, or again, if I knew what, you know, have it as sort of the navy color again, or could have it purple. So, you know, if you've got some different color palettes, you could make it like that. I quite like the idea of having a sort of softer color. So it's just a off gray, purpley gray, and then click apply. So, you know, you don't have to go to a wildly different, you know, color. You could have kept it white, it's fine. And let's have another little go and see what else we can create on the Smart Mockups FX. So let's scroll down. So we've got books, clothing, mugs, and that's really it. You know, you have got different types of mugs as well. They got some enamel mugs as well. I might have a little play at having my logo on a hoodie, just because. Let's zoom in. And again, playing with the proportions of it, focusing on the size first. So this one I might go keep it quite big, but move it up a bit. Let's move it over to the other side. Looks like it needs to move over that way a bit. And again, you can play with the colours if you wanted to. So I might do a kind of grey, just because, and fit. So there you go. So this is how you can create your own kind of mock-ups. There's loads of great ways that you can use it. It can help you to visualize what you're doing. Hope you found this useful. If there's anything in Canva or design or branding that you'd like me to do a training on, it doesn't have to relate to Canva, but it's always useful for those that are using Canva to be able to see how you can do that. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of the day, and see you next time. Bye.